we were given some indications, and the central theme of those indications were that he is the doer. So you may ask why he is the doer. What's the reason? And the answer was given, not that he is the doer, he is also the cause of it. Now that becomes a circular logic, and a logical mind, a scientific mind, has a very difficult time dealing with it. And majority of the Western and European thinking for the at least last 400 years have been evolving into plus and minus, on and off, right and wrong, black and white. For a Western thinking, European thinking, if you say these both things can be right at the same time, you will have a difficult time. They will look at you as if you're from a different planet. For the Eastern mind, this is not so difficult, because they are brought up with the mindset that there may be an on value and an off value, but there is a lot of gray area between the two. Hence they are able to deal with it. Their mind does not immediately revolt. They do not go immediately crazy. I cannot deal with it. Tell me, either this way or that way. Same mentality has gone into the religious and spiritual world. So we go to a preacher, we go to a priest and say, just tell me what should I do and what should I not do. And that's it. I do not have the time for other details. Don't bother me. And if the answer comes back, you can do this as well as that, depending upon the situation. Say, now, you are not for me. I'll go to somebody else. Because you are not giving me a straight answer. I need a straight answer. Yes or no? Either he is the effect or he is the cause. How can he be the both? And we were given that message last time. Accept this reality. Accept it, ultimate truth. He is the cause. He is the effect. Christianity tried to explain it in a different language. And Christianity said, one Father and the only begotten Son. And the relationship between them is holy. So we added few things from us because we couldn't deal with it. One creator and this creation, the only begotten Son, and the bond between the two is holy. And what did we do? We took that parable and changed it into one Father, Jesus the one Son, and the Holy Spirit, the bond between them. The whole message got lost. He is the creator and he is the creation. He is the cause, I am the effect. You are the effect, you are the effect, you are the effect. Because he and you and I are not separate. We are not different. At the center of everything. At the 0 point, we are not different. You can ask any matriculate science, mathematics student today and give them a piece of paper and tell them to draw two vertical lines, and you ask them, what is this? He will tell you these are four quadrants. Okay. How do you identify the quadrants? Well, this is plus, this is minus, this is minus, this is plus. So you know the values given. If I am coming from right to the left, I am coming from the positive and reaching a 0. If I am coming from the left toward the right, I am again starting from the negative and reaching a 0. Same is the case. The purpose of the cross as a symbol is that, are you living on a horizontal life, which is staying on the surface, dealing with the world? Or are you ready to live the spiritual life, which is vertical? Okay, so now you understand these are the quadrants, and you have sign plus and minus in all four quadrants. Now you ask the same student, I am going to stop right at the point where these two lines are crossing. What do you call that point? You say it's called a 0 point. Okay, that makes sense. Now tell me, what is the sign of that 0? Is it plus or is it minus? Or is it both? Or is it a none? Everything will come to stop. Because all four answers are wrong. It's neither plus, nor minus, nor nothing, not everything. It just does not have a dimension. It is the cause and it is the effect. Now, if it is so easy for us to understand a geometrical configuration, why it is so difficult to understand the ultimate configuration that he started with a 0 point? Isn't it what the science is saying? At one point in time, 13.4 billion years ago, the entire universe was a point. The density of that point was infinite. It was so heavy, it could not be moved. But it could not contain its density and it exploded. That's how the science is saying. The mystic is saying, he was the one, self-born, self-created, no beginning, no end, no middle. And once he decided to be something, he became many, from one to many. If a particle of dust can explode to trillions of stars and billions of galaxies, and you accept that very, very happily, that's what Darwin said. That's the modern theory of physics. And if we say, no, it is a creative energy, no. We can't accept that. Okay? We were given the message so that we can expand our thinking. Blow through our old boundaries of belief systems that have been created. Nobody's fault. Don't blame your parents. Don't sue them because they didn't raise you properly. I have known such children who have taken their parents to the court. And they are saying, all of our mental problems are because of either my father or my mother or both. Nobody is responsible for you who you are. You are responsible for what you are. You can change that like this. All you need to do is change your belief system. Stop believing what you are believing today, pick up the new belief system and expand your thinking accordingly. Include that new belief systems in your thinking. But if you keep that boundary drawn, then you are not growing, you are not evolving. And that was a lesson last week, which was saying, Aapay karta hai, Aapay bhugta. Karta means the doer. Bhugta means the one who is actually facing the consequences of the doing. If it is so easy to accept that if the child falls down on the ground and mother sees it, she is hurting with the child's hurt. Or our friend suffers, we are suffering with him. Our relatives are in pain, we are pained by that. Why it is so difficult to accept that when I hurt, he also hurts? Because he is right inside me. He is the bhugta. He is the karta. He is working through me. My hands are moving. He is working through me, and if this hand gets hurts, why it is so difficult to accept that he is hurting with me? Because he is inside. He is the karta. He is the bhugta. Bandhan tode sadaa hai mukta. If you can just understand this belief system and include in your own belief system, make it part of your own life. Very difficult. And I'm not being a chauvinist here. It is the experience. For the feminine energy, it's very difficult. A simple factualization, not a discrimination or condemnation. Why? Why it is so difficult for feminine energy? Because the feminine energy believes in attachment. She lives by attachments. Every single thing. If not, those of you who are going to go to office tomorrow and you are standing in front of your mirror, man or woman, particularly for women, see the feelings that arise when you are choosing which lipstick to put on, which eyelash to put on, what shade to put on. Every little thing has that importance. There is ownership involved there. There is an attachment there. There is an ego there. It's not that difficult for the male energy, because male energy is not suffering from the attachment, it is suffering from the ego and the anger and the greed. If we remember this, then what happens? It says, bandhan tode, all the bondages are broken. You don't have to do anything, just include that in your belief system. Just make it your belief system. Don't say, I heard it today. No, say, now I understand. That is the way it is. Bandhan tode, it will break all the bondages. Sadaa hai mukta. Once you break that bondage, you will never again be trapped by it. It keeps on pulling you back into the attachment because you only conceptualize it. Intellectualize it. Make it an argument, never a part of your own being. I can assure each and every one of you, the day you make this whole thing as your system, there will be no problem for you to come and sit in this chair and spend an hour talking about any one topic. The reason it is flowing through me that easy, I have no notes. I have written nothing. But it is flowing. Why? Because all of it is owned by me. Whatever he gave, I took it in. Haven't questioned a single one, haven't rejected anything. Because it all makes perfect sense. That is why I don't have any more questions. On any topic, I have no questions, no doubts. Why? Because whatever he sent in this form, in the conversations, in the readings, in the TVs, in the movies, and whichever way he spoke, it came and sat down right inside the heart and never left it again. And that's what is being said here. Bandhan tode sada hai mukta. Forever you are freed from these bondages. Sada mukt aapay hai, such aapay, alakh laavani-aa. Because he is free from all the bondage. Sada mukt. Forever he is free. And if you make him as a part of your being, you become the same. Anyone you love, even in the physical life, with your total heart, the only thought remaining when you are waking and when you are sleeping is of that lover. How can you forget him if he becomes your real lover? You see, we have took this word love and turned it into a unholy, a dirty stuff. A man and a woman is loved, immediately we pick both of their bodies and throw them in the bed. Doesn't matter who they are. Because that's the only love we know. That is the whole training. Something so holy, something so pious, something totally created by the ultimate creative energy, we have taken it and put a judgment on it. And every religion is doing it. Every preacher is doing it. Every priest, every Brahmin, every mullah, all are doing the same thing. Dirty, unholy, not to be respected, not to be looked at, not to be discussed, not to be thought about. If you accept him to be the purest, then everything that's created by him is pure. If he is the ultimate truth, everything touched by is truth, including you, you and you. You are his creation. And so is your enemy. So is your adversary. So is your competitor. The question is, which dimension do you want to spend the rest of the life? In the physical dimension, emotional dimension, or in spiritual dimension? If you accept that, then this becomes very easily understandable. Aapay maa-i-aa, aapay chhaa-i-aa. Maya means the illusion. Chhaa means the reflection of the illusion. Illusion hidden behind the illusion. Which is a question that we will discuss at the end of it. The so-called ego. If you were to ask any medical doctor, can he point out to you where is your ego or where is your mind? Can he tell you what parts of the body it is hidden in? Is there a physical existence? Can that doctor even tell, okay, this part of the brain controls ego? Today, you can go on the Google and just type neuroscience, and the neuroscience will bring every research that has been done about the brain with the pictorials and everything charted. Go find if they have pointed out a space, a part, a muscle, a nerve that controls either your mind or your ego. That means they really are not real as we know them. They are fictional constructs. They are illusionary bondages. But then how come they feel so good and real? Everybody says control your ego. And if I come to you, okay, show me my ego, I'll control it. What are you going to do? You keep on preaching me control your ego, control your ego. Point out where the ego is. That's called illusion behind an illusion. That is the statement here. I didn't put it. That's the first statement today. The very first statement says, Aapay maa-i-aa, the illusion. Aapay chhaa-i-aa, reflection of the illusion. How can there be a reflection of an illusion? The one which doesn't exist, how can it have a reflection? But it is true. Your logical mind may kick it out and say, this is all gibberish. It makes no sense to me. I don't want any part of it. I am okay the way I am. Good luck to you. But it is true. There is a reflection of the illusion. And we will discuss that further at the end of the talk. Aapay maa-i-aa, aapay chhaa-i-aa, aapay mo sabh jagat upaa-i-aa. If there is an attachment in the world, it is not a human creation. In order to run this drama further and further, he created it. Now the question is, would you understand the drama and know it is a drama, or would you fall into the trap and say, it is not a drama, it's a real thing? How can you ask a mother to watch her own child dying? You crazy? Wake up, mother, you are playing a role. Nobody is born and nobody is dying. These are the containers coming into existence and doing their role and dropping. Just do your role. Don't hold on to the other actor who is playing your son. Don't hold on to him and say, this is my son, I am the mother. You are causing your own suffering. He did not design the suffering. He did design the attachment. Why did he design the attachment? So that you can learn from it. So you can know how to live in this world without attachment. If there is no attachment, how would you learn? He had to give you the tools to grow your inner self. So he created the opposite energy at every level. And he showed you that if you have self-confidence and can stand on your own, that's a positive use of the ego. Sanskrit calls it is a swa-abhiman. Swa, self-dependence. Not to be dependent on other unnecessarily. You can, I'm sure everybody has this kind of relationship in one form or the other, where the people exploit their, oh, I'm so sick. Would you please make tea for me today? Would you please drive me to work? I really can't drive. And they keep on, pouring on, and ultimately say, would you wake up and get healthy? How long I'm going to be driving you around? That's not self-reliance. When ego is used as a self-reliance, it's a positive tool. When the ego is used as an arrogance to control the other, it becomes a negative. When you cut the vegetable to cook with the knife, it is a positive use of the knife. When you take the same knife and feel like killing your husband, that's a bad use of the knife. The same knife.
Why the husband?
Husbands are the only species
Who deserve to be
which
killed?
deserve to be killed. Ask any woman.
He's kidding, don't take it seriously.
I'm not taking it seriously. I feel sorry for the other husband here, my wife not here.
But you got my point. He gave us the tools which, when used properly, elevates you, and used improperly, pushes you down. Where do you think the concept of hell and heaven came up? When you are being pushed down by your own choices, you are going into hell. When you are getting uplifted by your choices, you are living in heaven. There is no other hell and heaven anywhere. It's right here. And you experience, every one of us, hell and heaven every waking or sleeping moment of our life. When you lie down on your bed at 11 o'clock and it's 2 o'clock now and you can't fall asleep, where you are for those 3 hours? Ask your bed sheet. They are wrinkled enough by your tossing and turning. It knows you are in hell. It is His doing. It is His design for a specific purpose. Learn from this. Aapay mo sabh jagat upaa-i-aa. Because it is a universal law, it's not specific to anyone. Moha means attachment. Jagat means the entire universe. Bird kingdom, animal kingdom, fish kingdom, everybody has the same thing, same attachment. Aapay gundaataa gaavai, aapay aakh sunaavni-aa. If there are words flowing, He is speaking. If they are coming to your ears, He is listening. Aapay gundaataa gaavai. He is the self who is saying these things. Aapay aakh sunaavni-aa. And then He is listening. Here He is sitting and saying something, there He is sitting and listening something. Why? The drama. Different players. Different dialogues. Different set. Different scenery. Different day. If you really simplify it, it's not very complex. It's very easy to understand. But if you want to make it complicated, then it's very difficult to understand. Who will make it complicated? You. Why would you make it complicated? It feels good to the ego. See the shadow? The real and the shadow? The human will first make the situation so complex and then say, oh my God, I am so helpless. And the day there is a solution, see, I did it. It was a complex situation, but I solved it. Because if situation is very easy, then what is your greatness? Even a child could do this. Don't we say it's a child's play? Human ego does not feel good enough unless the problem is made to be complex. We are so good at that. When somebody comes to us in the hospital and say, I'm sorry to hear you are hurt, but let me tell you, last year I was hurt 10 times more. Even our hurt has to be better than the other. Our sickness has to be more than the other. I was sitting in a psychologist's office back in India when I was still studying. And I saw that over there, how the game is played. A poor lady comes in and says, I have this problem. He will simply give them some sort of a tranquilizer, and they'll go home and they pay 10, 15 bucks and that will be okay. When a rich lady walks in, she has a list full of, I have this problem, this problem, this problem. And he had multicolored capsules. And he will bring them and okay, this one is for your that problem, and this one is for your that problem, and this one is for your that problem. And the bill is $1,000. And they go happy. And I asked him, I said, what are you doing? He said, believe me, every single capsule actually is, what is the name? What is the name?
Placebo. Placebo?
Placebo. Every single one of them is placebo. And they have been tested when a real drug was being tested. And I said, why? He said, look, if I don't give, she will go somewhere else and she will tell me I am good for nothing. First thing, I will lose a customer. She is only going to go happy when she has a bag full of tablets, so that when these rich ladies sit down on their formal cup of tea, they can show each other. I take this in the morning, this in the afternoon, this is the evening, this is this. But they feel very good. Suddenly all of the sickness is gone. They have absolutely nothing. Just too much money and too much free time at their hand. Play of the mind. Ego does not feel satisfied till it makes it so complex and then suddenly say, I have a solution. But if you understand and accept this, Aapay gundaataa gaavai, upaa-i-aa sunaavni-aa. He's the one who's sending you the words. He's the one who's listening inside you. This is all a part of drama. You are just, at the most, a play doll. He holds the strings. See the puppets? Can a puppet say, I'm not going to dance this way, if the puppeteer pulls the string? Why can't you accept this? See, if I accept it, then I'm helpless. My ego is hurt. No, I'm going to say, I am somebody. I have some control. I make my destiny. There are books written on self-confidence. You can go into any library and pick up as many books under different titles, whether it's a positive thinking, whether it is self-control, whether whatever. You'll find books after books after books. The new age gurus are selling the merchandise there, every customer can buy. But that's not a reality. They are doing business in lies. Aapay karay karaa-ay aapay. If my hands are moving, I am not moving. Karay, he is making it move. Aapay karay, he is the doer. Karay, if he is using me, he is making me do it. I am not the doer under any set of circumstances. Aapay thaap uthaapay aapay. He creates. Thaap means to create. Uthaap means to destroy. We sit here suffering for our entire life. Had I not gone to my village that month, this thing would not have happened. And we don't forget. We don't forget. I had a friend who was doing gardening, and while in the garden, he had a heart attack and he died on the spot. His wife, 13 years after his death, is still saying, had I stopped him that day from doing the gardening and asked him to have a cup of tea instead, rather than working in the garden, he would be alive still today. No matter how many writers, please let it go. Don't play the God. No, it's very obvious. He died out of the stress of pulling the leaves and cutting the branches and all that. His heart was weak. We don't let go. We don't accept. And we read these words. We listen to these words. We sing these words. But no effect, of no use. Aapay kare karay aapay, aapay thaap uthaapay aapay, tujh te baahar kachhoo na hove tu aapay karay laavani-aa. Whatever is being done, karay means to assign a task. You have a task, you are doing it, he put you there. I have a task, he put me here. I didn't choose it, you didn't choose it. It's there in his schema, in his drama. Aapay maaray, aap jeevaa-ay, aapay maylay, milaa-ay. How clear it can be. Aapay maaray. He is the one who takes the life. Aap jeevaa-ay. He is the one who gives the life. Somebody came to me and said, now you stop right there. You say he determines the life and death. I said, yes. I don't say it, Gurbani says. No. A doctor can fix the date and time of the birth of a child. He can schedule a surgery, a C-section, call the lady in, and within minutes it's over. So you are saying he fixed the time? So yeah, prove to me it's not. And I said, how did the doctor determine the time? What do you mean? Would he not look at how old the fetus is? Would he not count the number of days from conception? Of course he has to do it. So who determined that? Just because he has established a base for you and you take a jump from the base and you take the entire credit. It's just like a swimmer saying, I am going on that springboard, I am going to take a jump, but look how far I can go. As if the springboard has nothing to do with it. I am the jumper. No, you are pushed by the board. He gave you the energy. Get out of this one-sided thinking. Just looking at myopically one simple thing and then building the whole castle around it. Never going further deep. Aapay maaray, aap jeevaa-ay. Aapay maylay, milaa-ay. This meeting is arranged by him, not by me, not by you. Sayvaa te sadaa upaa-i-aa, gurmukh sahaj samaavani-aa. There is only one thing for the human to do, which is accept this drama. Leave this entire tension out of your mind. Drop that thinking and arguing and trying to make sense of this. Just accept the drama as it is. Enjoy the play. Have fun with the drama. How can I have fun with the drama? I didn't get my bonus this year. So you are dictating to the entire universe that you must get bonus every year. Who's deciding that? You? Based on what? Aren't there anybody around you? Is the nature and the creator discriminating against you? And by by the way, if there seems to be discrimination, you first analyze your choices. He's not discriminating. I think today or tomorrow is the Eid.
Today,
Today is the Eid.
Friday.
Now look what's happening all over the world.
Oh, yeah.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars and rupees for a single animal. Depending upon your pocketbook, somebody is buying a goat, a lamb, a cow, a bull, or even a camel. And what is going to happen? They are all going to be sacrificed to please the God. One animal costing more than 100,000 rupees. Now what's required? Sacrifice the animal, then divide its part into 3 sections. One in the name of Allah, one in the name of your family and friends, and one in the name of poor and disadvantaged. Now here comes the interesting part. Imagine what is going to go to the poor and disadvantaged. And they go, say, we done our job. What did you keep for yourself? What did you give to the poor? And what did you give to the mullahs? And the claim is that this is going to reserve our place in hell. It's a requirement, obligation for every single Muslim family.
Haji family.
Huh?
Haji family. The one way in Mecca.
Those who are gone to the Hajj, not the rest.
Not the rest. No.
Rest don't celebrate the Eid.
They celebrate but not sacrifice any animal.
Oh, okay, that's news to me. I thought everybody does.
No. And I tell you something later when you finish.
But let us stay with what Quraysh is saying. That means there are 2 million visitors as we speak in Saudi Arabia. So that means those 2 million members are obligated to sacrifice at least one animal. But we continue. We do not stop and think, if he is the doer of it all, how can we be happy watching so much blood flow on the ground for absolutely no good reason? And every year after year after year. If he is the doer, if this is correct, but we won't accept this as a character. No, I am the doer. He is not. Because we will get fixated on this concept, we will not grow or evolve spiritually at all. We were born an animal, we will die an animal. And it's saying, sayvaa te sadaa sukh-baya, gurumukh sahaj samaavani-aa. The state that a human needs to get to is that complete tension-free state. Because I was watching a show and they were saying that there are families after families after families who have not been able to celebrate the Eid all their life because they cannot afford to buy an animal to sacrifice. So they don't celebrate the Eid. And they consider themselves to be unlucky, disadvantaged, cursed by God for something. Because they couldn't execute this simple thing. That's not a tension-free life. And we are talking of sahaj, no tension in the mind or body. If you accept this, then you will become tension-free in both your mind and body. Aapay ucha ucho hoi. He is not great because we are saying he is great. He is great because he is great. Ucho, highest. Aapay ucho ucha hoi. Higher than the highest. It's not our choice. It's not our designation. And if we say he's not there, he's still happy. There are plenty of them who are saying it. Jis aap vikhale so vekhe koi. Look at the surrendering. He says even this much is his grace. Even this much understanding. Even this much word coming, flowing through is all his creation, because if he did not give this understanding, you will be still fighting against it. Nanak naam vase ghat antar, aapay vekh vikhaalani-aa. That's your ultimate destiny. His word, his name should become part of your existence. Nanak naam vase. It should reside where? Ghat antar, inside you. It should become part of your breathing, part of your blood flow, part of your heartbeat. If you get there, then what happens? Aapay vekh vikhaalani-aa. Then you become worthy of witnessing that energy for real from within you. So that's a hymn number 27 on page 125. So looking at the time, we'll take a pause here, and if there is any comment or questions, the lines are still open.